for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins, make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, U4GM Coins. Use code VENM at checkout for 5% off your order. Yo, what's good guys? Venom Fire here, back in the video, and today I'm bringing you guys my gun A slot offense. Now, this formation is very good, especially to start the year off. There's tons of great stock plays, but I'm going to be showing you guys how to beat some of the best coverages, as well as run the ball effectively out of the formation. So here we are in the New England Patriots offensive playbook. I think it is the best diversity playbook in the game. There's so many good formations, so many things you can do. So I'm just going to be running out of Patriots. It's also in spread offense, but I like this a lot better than spread. You see I'm going to be using the Bengals, so I want to show you that the scheme works even with a lower rated team. You can have all of these setups be effective. So let's just hop straight into our audibles. I already preset them, but what you have is 0-1 trap, inside zone, levels, sail, and posts. I'm going to be going over a couple of other plays in the formation a little bit later in the video, so make sure you stay tuned for that. But like I mentioned, I want to start out with the run plays. Let's start out with the 0-1 trap specifically, because this is the one that sort of becoming like the meta in this year's game. So we'll start out with that, and then we'll move into the inside zone. So 0-1 trap, it's pretty much always been a good run. It's just never been used a lot, and this year it's just very difficult to defend. So what I like to do is motion over John Ross, motion over that X wide receiver, and then you can sort of just fight up the middle. Now you see that the Bengals offensive line is obviously not the best, but we're still going to be able to pick up a lot of good gains. You see, look at the blocking right there. You just have so much space up the middle that really is difficult to just completely shut this down, especially for a loss. It's just, even though it is, you see a slow developing type of play, even when they're not getting blocked. You saw that lineman just completely miss his block. We're picking up, 5 yards plus a carry. So obviously you can do some different stuff with the motion. You can motion this guy in a little bit later. And then you just see we have a lot of space up the middle where if my player's faster than the other players or whatever the case may be, then I have a chance to make somebody miss. And again, I'm going against a pretty good run defensive set. The 3-3-5 wide is known for its run D, but look at that. You can cut. I was cutting to the right every time. I motion over. Now the left opens up, and again, the thing about this run is it's just very easy to read the hole. So even if you don't have the best run stick or ball carrier vision, it's very easy. The blocks sort of develop up for you, and all you have to do is run up the middle. So it's not necessarily reading the hole. Do I have to swerve inside or cut it outside? It's really just cutting it inside most of the time. It's just depending on if the left side is open or the right side. And again, that's usually very easy to tell. And again, it might take a little bit of practice if you're very new to running the football. But again, that's something that I think would be very easy for a beginner player to pick up on. And again, 0-1 trap, you see occasionally they're going to get a block shed with that player. Again, keep in mind there's a lot of not even 70 overalls on this Cincinnati offensive line. But even with that, you see the holes are there. If you had a little bit of a better team, I was using the 49ers here, I would be getting 20 yards per play. But even if like the worst run stick, you see I'm picking up 10 yards. And really, it's very difficult to shoot this run in the backfield for a loss. So even if you don't pick up, 5 yards, you're still not losing yards, which is always good. Let's move on to the inside zone. Inside zone, 0-1 trap. Probably the only runs I run. There is a RPO bubble, but I'm not the biggest fan of those because of the slower handoffs. But inside zone, again, a very solid run play. This one, again, it's going to be very difficult to shoot the inside zone. And again, something that I didn't really mention is I always like to run my receivers out of a slot on the wide side. That's something that I didn't necessarily mention, but it's something that you do. So again, I like the 0-1 trap a little bit better than the inside zone this year, but inside zone is still, a very solid run. You see, you can cut it inside, you can cut it outside. There's a lot of things to do. Now, this 3-3-5 wide specifically does do a pretty good job against the inside zone, but again, a lot of people will be in 3-3-5 or dollar sets. So keep in mind that they might not even be running a 3-3-5 wide against your A slot. And if they decide to go to a 3-3-5 wide or a heavy set, then you can obviously pass on them a little bit better. So you see this inside zone. It's not very effective against this formation, but there's still a lot of potential. You see right there, all it takes is one play for this run to go ahead and pop off. So one thing that I will say about this formation is you have to stay committed to the run. Just if he blows up your 0-1 trap or your inside zone one time, you have to continue to run the ball. Even if you are in a 2nd and 10, you just blew up your run, you can continue to run the ball. You never want him to be able to play just pass defense on this A slot, otherwise it could get bad for you early. So again, Just running it up the middle, you see I'm consistently picking up 5 yards. Occasionally I'll get hit in the backfield, but occasionally, you know, I'll pop off for 10 or a touchdown. So again, stick with it early in the game. And again, these 5-yard carries definitely add up on the defense. He's going to get frustrated. He's going to start blitzing random people. He's going to get out of his scheme. And that's really what you want when you run the ball. You want people to get out of their scheme. You see, again, 10-yard carry. But that's pretty much it for the inside zone on what I'm going to talk about. Again, just make sure you stay committed to this. Stay honest on running the ball. You need to keep the defense honest as far as defending the run and the pass. And even if he has the best run defense on the planet, you still want to run the ball a couple of times a game. So let's move on to our man beating plays. And a little bit later in the video, I'll switch to a cover 3 or a cover 2. And then I'll talk about some of my zone setups. But for the man coverage setups, this post play is second to none. It is super good against man coverage. I'll show you how I like to manipulate the man coverage. But pretty much my favorite setup is going to be block your tight end, smart route X. Now, smart routing X, you see he's on a very deep post route, almost 15 yards on his break. But what I do when I smart route it is it sort of actually turns into like a weird 5-yard type of post route. And this is going to be really good against man. Even this deep post route is good against man coverage, but it's just so slow developing that sometimes the user can recover, or if they have a deep zone, then it'll pick up on it. So what I do is I smart route it, and then it's going to be quick breaking. Even if they are pressed, I know they aren't pressed in this case, but even if they were pressed and shade over the top, it would actually be better. But again, you got this post route and you have this corner route. So I could obviously just come out, run the stock, and AJ Green would beat the man coverage on his corner route. Got a terrible throw there from Burrow, but you see that corner route definitely does beat man coverage. And as long as you have enough speed right there, it shouldn't be an issue. So again, I just ran it. And I believe that's Adoree Jackson, who definitely does have the speed advantage on AJ Green right there. So again, that's just, you could run it stock. 2 routes that'll beat man coverage are this RB running back route and this B corner route. So again, you got 2 things you could do. This A tight end route obviously doesn't really beat it, but look at the late in the play. You see John Ross has a step on him, and if there wasn't safety help over the top, which is what a lot of people are doing when they run man coverage, then that would be definitely a throwable football as long as you have the speed advantage and you have a step on him and you don't really have a underthrow on that pass. But again, I could run it stock. The running back's going to beat man coverage right there, and even if I wait, it's still going to be wide open. So those are just 2 quick breaking routes, and again, if you don't want your opponent to get it set up, this is a good play to just quick snap because you don't have to make any adjustments. There's stock corner route, stock post, stock flat, and then another corner in a table route or a Texas route. So very solid, but I'm going to show you even a better setup. So again, I mentioned that smart routing of X. We're going to smart route X. We're also going to smart route B. And the reason for that is we're going to motion him over. So what I like to do, block my tight end, put RB on a little option route. Now, if it is zone coverage, he'll sit on a little hook. If it is man coverage, he will actually break to the outside, and it's a very good route against man coverage. So what you do next is you motion to AJ Green over across the formation like this. You got dual posts on the side, and then pretty much look at John Ross just absolutely kill the man coverage on that play. A lot of people wouldn't think to do this, but it is, all these little short post routes are very solid. So again, I motion AJ Green over, I smart route AJ Green, I'm smart routing John Ross on the outside as well. Then what I'm doing is I'm blocking my tight end, putting RB on an option, and then I keep this flat route just in case. Again, it is zone, I think it's man. I can always do that. Something you can do is also you can sort of motion him inside like this, but really the route we're focused on is John Ross because that's a route that's really never going to be usered. More times than not, they will use AJ Green in this sense. I've ran this play enough online to know that when you motion someone over, it's going to take their attention to that right side. They're going to focus, see if it's a corner route, see if it's a post route. It's going to be very difficult to defend. Now, something else you could do, if you don't want to use the option, you could use a wheel route, which is something that is very solid now against man coverage. It's not going to be the best, but if it is zone coverage, then it's definitely better to mix in my opinion. But again, John Ross is going to be wide open, and you see it's just stock cover 1 robber. So there are zones in the middle of the field. There's a 3 receiver hook. Like I said, the 3 receiver hook is going to be on the right, so it's defending AJ Green first. Here I'll try to throw it to AJ Green. We will see. It's going to be probably difficult because there's a lot of yellow zones on that right side of the field, and the tight ends player is going to pick up on it. But you see, even if I wait late in the play, it's going to be wide open, sort of acting as a crossing route. And you, obviously, AJ Green, not known as the fastest wide receiver, still able to get some good separation on that. So again, if you get 2 speedster at wide, 2 just super fast guys, Tyreek Hill, Dante Hall at receiver, you're going to be cooking out of that play. And again, that's really only my man beater out of that. No, so let's just move on to levels wise sail against man coverage. Now I have sort of the same setup out of this play against man and zone. And what it is I just like to put Y on streak. You got this deep dig that'll beat man coverage, and this route actually does pretty good well against man. You also have this fast breaking corner. This tight end is going to be too low overall, I think, to even get open on that, but that's something as well. And sometimes this table route will also get open. I'm not sure why that's open. Usually it'll be manned up. If it's manned up, it's not going to be open, but if you can quick snap it, it'll definitely be open for a good chunk of change. But again, man coverage, look at A, just beat the coverage. That's a super good corner out, super quick breaking. It'll beat man, it'll beat match coverage very effectively. Even with a 71 overall tight end right there, you're cooking. Look at X, the in route. You can quick snap that, quick throw it very effectively. And this is, again, one of those pass plays. I can just put Y on a streak, snap the ball very quickly. X is going to be pretty much wide open on every time, even if he is pressed. I can pass him inside to get a better angle on that, and it'll still be, wide open. And then we obviously have the B route. B is going to be open. Now again, they have a yellow zone in the middle of the field, so that's not necessarily going to be open. But if you run this enough times, A on the corner out's going to beat the man coverage. You might start using different things, and again, you can mix in your adjustments, obviously, depending on what you want to do. Again, this is probably a little bit of a better play against zone coverage, but it still does work, effectively against man with those couple of good breaking routes. So with that being said, let's move into some of our zone setups. All right, right here, I'm just going to be going against a stock cover 3, and I'll start out just again in the levels wise sail, so we go over all those setups in the same time, and then I still will move on to post, and then I got a little PA post shot play that I will talk about as well. So I'm just going to stock cover 3 here. Cover 3, obviously the flats are known to be better this year because of how far people play over the top. So again, definitely take your table route. Usually that curl flat will be playing higher. I do have the zone drops for the computer on default, so they're not going to be playing as high as typically they would on mine. But again, this wide tight end can be open, but again, really just very simple play. Again, if people are double flatting, so they're putting a hard flat and a hard flat on the left and a curl flat on the right and a curl flat on the left, they have 4 flat zones. The middle of the field with this streak can definitely be open. Not only that, as well as B and X. If I wanted to mix things up, what I like to do is put X on a backside slant. So I have this deep dig route as well as a slant route. Very solid route combo. You have just a lot of zones running into different areas. Again, you see you can lowball that slant pass lead to the left side right there. So again, there's a lot you can do with this particular play, especially against zone. And against zone this year, it's better to attack the middle of the field, in my opinion, rather than go to the sidelines because people can adjust the zone drops. But again, you see, boom, I can still adjust and still even get that corner route wide open against cover 3. Another setup I like to do without the table route is to just put RB on a wheel and then have the streak looks like this. And again, you can always put X on a backside slant. I could put him on a backside, or I can even motion snap him right there. But look at the zone coverage, really strong. That wheel routes are very good against cover 3 this year. So definitely try to mix those in. I'll be mixing in that in the post route, or the post play as well. But I can even put X on like a little backside zig route or something. Just mix things up, mix up the zone coverage very effectively like this. And you see he's going to be opening out on the sideline. So again, those are just a couple of setups for you. Let's move on to the post play now. Now post stock is going to be just good against cover 3. This corner out's going to be decent, but again, they could play over the top. So really against cover 3, the reason this play is so good is because you have this little flat route that's going to be, you can just check down at any time. Now again, that curl flat does a really good job of baiting between those two, simply because he's not set to any zone drop. So if someone commits to the over the top or the flats, obviously one of those will be open. I do believe this play is a little bit better on the short side of the field as well, specifically this little flat route. Now I pressed the wrong button there, but you saw the flat route, a little bit more separation. Even with this route, it is sometimes better to just wait late in the play, and then I can check down and pick up my 6 yards. So again, just sort of wait, play the cat and mouse game, see where that curl flat's going to defend, and you can always throw it later. Like I said, that's just that little high-low read's going to be better on the short side of the field. So if you ever are on that field or come out on the wrong side, that's something you could go ahead and do. But again, I could just smart out A in this case, basically run it sort of stock, but I like to motion this player over. Again, just mixing the wheel route, corner route, post routes, those types of things, as I tried to throw RB, but I got sacked. And again, if they are playing super, far underneath or over the top, in that case, what you could do is just mix in something like this, maybe A on a drag, B on this backside post route. You have the deep post, then maybe a wheel route, Again, we get a bad pass there, but if he were to bite down, you could throw that over the top. Again, mixing these certain things. Moving on to our last play, though, we got this PA post shot. Very solid play. You have this deep little crossing route that's pretty nice. My favorite setup in particular is going to be with RB on this little option, and then I like to motion over John Ross on a backside drag. So it's going to look like this. Block your tight end as well. Block that wide tight end. You have this sort of deep post route. You have this crosser. The crosser is going to be wide open in this case, as well as the drag route, and particularly that curl flat bites down on the drag, opens up the crosser. I'll show it again here. X on a drag, RB on an option. Block that tight end. Motion him across the formation. You see, for a lot of plays, we do a lot of motion, so that definitely can confuse your opponent as well. But here I'm going to sort of drift over to that side, and I wanted to pass lead that up. If I were to be able to pass lead that up, it would be a completion. And also, if you tight end apprentice, you can put him on a little bit of a better crossing route or fast developing crossing route. We don't really have that at our disposal, but again, you can definitely just mix in certain route combinations, have success. I could throw RB on a wheel route. I could always throw that other player on a route as well, but you see we're able to get over the top there. If they play down, you can definitely throw that. If they play up, you can throw the drag at any time. But again, just mix in certain plays, a lot of good stock plays, so you don't have to stick to just the plays they call. There's good China double in play, certain things like that you can mix in. That's going to do it for the video. If you guys did enjoy, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button for more content on the road to 10K subscribers. So if you're new, you're enjoying the content, hit that subscribe button for me down below. And yeah, peace. I'm out of here.